Chucky, the killer doll, is an iconic figure in horror lore, originating from the 1988 film Child's Play. He is not just a doll, but the vessel for the spirit of Charles Lee Ray, a serial killer who uses a voodoo ritual to transfer his soul into a good guy doll to escape death. This fusion of innocence and malevolence creates a terrifying juxtaposition that taps into the primal fear of the subversion of childhood innocence. The significance of Chucky in the realm of horror lies in his subversion of the trusted and loved archetype of children's toys, transforming what should be a comforting presence into an object of terror. This transformation has become a cornerstone of horror storytelling, illustrating how the familiar can become uncanny. One notable example of Chucky's cultural impact is his influence on subsequent horror films that use possessed or cursed objects as central themes. Movies like Annabelle from the Conjuring universe draw upon similar themes where inanimate objects become conduits for malevolent forces. Another example is the merchandising phenomenon surrounding Chucky himself. Despite his villainous nature, Chucky-themed toys, Halloween costumes, and collectibles have maintained a steady presence in pop culture, showcasing how a symbol of terror can become ingrained in cultural consciousness in consumer markets. Critics and fans alike have debated Chucky's role and effectiveness as a horror icon. Some argue that Chucky's evolution into a more comedic character in later films diluted his horror roots, while others appreciate the blend of horror and humor in keeping the character fresh and engaging. This duality opens discussions on how horror evolves to remain relevant, balancing scares with entertainment. Controversies surrounding Chucky often focus on the portrayal of violence and its psychological effects on audiences, especially given the context of a child's toy as a perpetrator. This can lead to concerns about desensitization or the impact of horror on younger viewers. The idea of a child's toy as an agent of horror challenges traditional perceptions of safety and innocence, sparking debates about the boundaries of horror. Chucky's origins and lore are not isolated elements but are deeply intertwined with broader themes in horror. They influence the narrative's exploration of life, death, and the supernatural, while also connecting with societal fears about the loss of innocence and the hidden dangers in everyday life. Understanding Chucky's origins is crucial to appreciating his place in the pantheon of horror icons and his continuing relevance in both film and popular culture. The creation of Chucky, the infamous killer doll, originates from the Child's Play film series, which first captivated audiences in 1908. This concept refers to the fictional birth and evolution of Chucky, a doll possessed by the spirit of notorious serial killer Charles Lee Ray. Through a voodoo ritual, Ray transfers his soul into a good guy doll, transforming an innocent toy into a vessel for murder and mayhem. This narrative device is crucial as it sets the foundation for the entire franchise, establishing the horror icon recognized globally. The significance of Chucky's creation lies in its novel integration of horror with the uncanny, tapping into the innate fear of corrupted innocence. Dolls, typically symbols of childhood innocence, become vehicles of terror, challenging perceptions and creating a deeply unsettling experience. This blend of the familiar and the grotesque has made Chucky a staple in horror lore, influencing subsequent horror narratives that explore the theme of possession and corrupted innocence. One real-world application of this concept can be seen in the wider genre of horror films that exploit similar themes, such as Annabelle from the Conjuring series, which also explores the idea of a possessed doll wreaking havoc. Another example is the cultural impact of Chucky, where the character has transcended film to become a part of Halloween traditions, merchandise, and even theme park attractions, underlining his significance in pop culture. Chucky's creation has garnered opinions from horror enthusiasts who praise the originality and impact of the character. Critics and fans alike appreciate the clever intertwining of dark humor and horror, which has kept the franchise relevant and engaging. However, the concept does not come without challenges and controversies. Some critics point out the potentially harmful implications of personifying evil within a child's toy, leading to debates on the psychological impact on younger audiences. Additionally, the franchise's evolution over time has seen fluctuations in critical reception, with some iterations considered weaker than others, sparking discussions about the balance between innovation and maintaining core horror elements. Chucky's creation is integral to the broader topic of scary legends and lore due to its influence on horror media and popular culture. It connects with other aspects like the evolution of horror tropes, the impact of horror icons on cultural phenomena, and the exploration of fear through everyday objects. In essence, the creation of Chucky not only defines the character's narrative, but also cements his legacy as a lasting symbol of horror and entertainment. The psychological impact of killer doll legends, such as that of Chucky the Killer Doll, delves into how these narratives affect human emotions, beliefs, and behaviors. This concept explores how tales of inanimate objects coming to life and causing harm tap into deep-seated fears and anxieties. Chucky, a children's toy possessed by a serial killer spirit, embodies an unsettling collision of innocence and malevolence, which can profoundly affect audiences by challenging their perceptions of safety and control. This point is significant because it highlights the broader cultural fascination with horror and the psychological mechanisms at play. Legends like Chucky serve as mirrors reflecting societal concerns about technology, autonomy, and the loss of control. By unpacking these myths' psychological impact, we can better understand the human psyche's complexity and how fear is crafted and experienced. To illustrate, consider the real-world application of fear conditioning, where individuals develop a phobia-like response to specific stimuli. The legend of Chucky may plant seeds of fear regarding dolls or small, seemingly benign objects. This is evidenced in various cases where people report feeling uneasy around dolls following exposure to such stories. Another example is the utilization of horror in media as a form of catharsis. The thrill of fear generated by legends like Chucky provides a safe space for audiences to confront and process their fears, offering a psychological release that can be both therapeutic and entertaining. Opinions supporting this idea often suggest that horror, despite its frightening nature, serves a valuable purpose by allowing individuals to explore taboo subjects and existential fears within a controlled environment. The engaging narrative of killer dolls like Chucky stimulate curiosity about the unseen and the potential for evil within the mundane, ultimately reinforcing societal norms and taboos by pushing boundaries. However, challenges arise with the potential desensitization to violence and the negative psychological effects on susceptible individuals, such as children. Critics argue that repeated exposure to fictional horror can blur the lines between reality and fiction, potentially leading to anxiety and paranoia. This point seamlessly connects to other aspects of the main topic by illustrating how legends like Chucky influence horror media conventions, inspire folklore, and reflect societal fears. In essence, the psychological impact of these legends underscores the foundational role fear plays in shaping cultural narratives, highlighting both its allure and its potential consequences. The concept of cultural influence and popularity in media regarding Chucky, the killer doll, refers to the pervasive impact the character has had on various forms of media and its role in shaping cultural perceptions of horror. Introduced in the 1988 film Child's Play, Chucky quickly became an iconic figure in horror pop culture, embodying the trope of seemingly innocent objects harboring malevolent forces. This heading signifies not just the doll's lasting appeal in cinema, but also its broader influence on the horror genre and its reflection in media narratives, collectibles, and even parodies. Chucky's significance lies in his transformation from a singular horror character into a cultural phenomenon. This transformation underscores the doll's ability to resonate with audiences through fear, humor, and the uncanny, elevating it to a status that extends beyond the original film series. Chucky's influence is evident in the proliferation of horror films featuring malevolent dolls and toys, a genre niche that continues to draw audiences and inspire new content. Two prominent examples illustrate Chucky's cultural and media impact. First, the character's presence in the Child's Play franchise, spanning over 3 decades with multiple films and a television series, demonstrates its enduring popularity and adaptability, keeping Chucky relevant across generations. Second, the character's multiple appearances in diverse media, such as in the satirical horror film Seed of Chucky and a cameo in Ready Player One, highlight how Chucky has become a shorthand for horror that can transcend its original context to engage with different audiences. Support for the influence of Chucky in media is often found in the character's strong sales of merchandise and the extensive fan base that eagerly anticipates each new installment. This reflects not only nostalgia, but a deep-seated appreciation for how effectively Chucky embodies the horror genre's themes. However, the character's popularity is not without challenges or controversy. Some critics argue that the franchise's blend of horror and comedy dilutes the original fear factor, while others express concern over the impact of violent media on young audiences. Chucky's influence in media connects to the broader appeal of horror as a tool for exploring fear and societal anxieties, while also highlighting how a single character can evolve within the genre to remain relevant. Its popularity reinforces the idea that horror icons like Chucky can transcend their roles, affecting how horror stories are told and appreciated in both mainstream and subcultural contexts.